Murdoch and the NSX leads the field over as we get the race underway here in the Manufacturer Series. So that long run down towards the first corner is going to be very interesting as everybody tries to get into the slipstream. You can see Scavini there weaving, trying to break the slipstream of his driver from behind. But through the first turn, Murdoch does hold on, as you would begin to expect, then hard on the brakes in towards that first corner. Hizal, as you said, Jimmy, already falling into the clutches of Scavini and Gallo in P3 and P4 here. Meanwhile, here is Gallo. Is he going to think about a move down into that final corner? You can guarantee he is. He's hard on the brakes. He's on the inside of the Turkish driver. Side by side they go. NSX versus WRX, and it's Valerio Gallo into P3, and Mikail Hizal sensibly trying to get off that hard tyre as soon as he possibly can. All the hard tyres drivers following exactly the same strategy, pretty much. Yeah, I want to watch Jose Abreu actually, because he's down in ninth position, as you said, but making a good ascension through the field. Jose Lopez Swiddering also into the pit lane then, from the hard to the medium compound tyres. Here's Scavini up the inside of Murdoch for the race lead at the chicane then. Lovely bit of driving there, but is Murdoch going to try and pounce back on the exit? This is a fantastic camera angle, giving a brilliant sense of speed as they come down in towards the right-handed flick. You can really commit the car through there. Murdoch commits a bit too much and gets a little bit out of shape, but Scavini holds on to that race lead, and Murdoch doesn't lose too much ground here, crucially.
There's always a little bit of strategy to even the manufacturer you pick, because if you say pick a manufacturer that is really very quick, like a Mercedes were last year, mistake there from Hizal, and immediately he gets off the line and lets Baptiste Beauvoir through. I think maybe trying to lose a little bit less time there just by letting him through and drafting him down the straight. But that goes to show just how on edge they are through that section of the circuit. Really easy to pick a bit of curb there and tap the wall, and that's part of what sim racing is nowadays. So it'd be great to see more of that in the events. Yes, McGinn. Off he goes, yeah, he's
off the circuit. Yeah, he's going to lose out to Deckers here and potentially Dilly as well. That's really compromised him. Sorry to cut in front of you there, Jimmy, but he just ran it a bit wide through that right-handed King.
Oh, it's so tight through there. A bit of a wiggle there from Baptiste Beauvoir. It's the last thing you want to see from the car in front of you when you're following so closely. Stab then made a mistake. He's now coming up on Tom Lartiu, who's going to give him a little bit of a push there coming into the braking zone. Don't want to do that too late, or you might push him a little bit wide, or maybe that's what he's trying. Let's see.
Yeah, absolutely right. So Lartiu comes in the pit lane here, as does Beauvoir, and it looks like the Porsche driver, Lartiu, Beauvoir, Freya, Gallo, Hizal into the pit lane here as Dilly, Simos. So everybody's on the hard tyre that changed over in that middle stint there, Jimmy. They want to get off of that, understandably, get onto the soft tyre, get on the quicker tyre towards the closing stages of this race, and then maybe change to the mediums. This is a crucial thing. I'm glad I got you here, Jimmy, to dissect all these strategies, because I'd be struggling to keep up with it myself. You can see here Hizal going for a move against Ithar Sugasa side by side, nearly down in towards that final corner. Surely Hizal is going to find his way past. He does, hard on the brakes. Ithar Sugasa does not put up too much of a fight, and sensibly so. Scavini is in the pit lane then, from the hards to the soft compound of tyres for his middle stint in this race, and now Hizal can put his foot to the floor. Hizal is going to go through then, surely, about Lartiu. There is Hizal just coming into the pit lane exit, and he's going to lose out to Hizal. He's going to lose out to Ithar Sugasa, but he's going to draw alongside with Baptiste Beauvoir, very close indeed. Beauvoir's got the closing speed. He's going to go to the inside. Is Beauvoir here? Side by side they come, hard on the brakes, but he chops the nose off of the Frenchman. Does Will Murdoch. That is fantastic defensive driving, and he just holds on that position. So that was a very well-timed pit stop there. Any more fuel he'd taken on board, and he could have been set to lose 2, maybe even 3 positions, but it's worked out very nicely for him indeed.
On his Artigaza, the NSX just doesn't have that grunt in a straight line. You need to go for it here. Oh, he needs to just send it at this point. He needs to chuck it up the inside and have it done with us. Saying that, they're both catching Hizal up front. Hizal isn't there. Murdoch goes for it now, slides up the inside. There you go. I think his Artigaza kind of saw it coming for, fair enough. I can't defend this much longer. And that releases Murdoch in the NSX now to chase down Mick Hizal in the Subaru in front. So it's going to be a straight fight now to the end with 3.5 laps to go.
The pressure onto the back of Ithar Sugasa. As we mentioned, the Spaniard out of position coming through that chicane. He's clipped the wall there as Murdoch, though he's lost out massively there, and that is going to cost him potentially a podium here as well. He's definitely lost out for second place. Ithar Sugasa now having to defend from Beauvoir, but he's not going to be able to do so. Beauvoir goes up the inside through into P2, so now it's the Frenchman who's going to try and have to close things down to Mikail Hizal instead of Will Murdoch. So a simple mistake there, as we were mentioning, Jimmy. We saw Lartiu doing it last time around. Now Murdoch makes the same mistake and he loses out. Gallo has got Skabinia all over his back like a bad rash as they come through the left-hander over the brow of the hill. Is Skabinia going to think about a move? He certainly is. He pulls out of the slipstream. Gallo goes defensive. Side by side they come as they go hard on the brakes. Is he going to be able to go the long way around the outside? The Frenchman versus the Italian. That'll be a brave move if he can hold it through there. Still side by side they run on the exit. Gallo's got the inside line for the next right-hander, but Skabinia, if he can hold it, if he can be brave around the outside, he can, and he moves into P5. What a move for the Lamborghini driver. He's through into the top 5 on the penultimate lap. Fantastic. Yeah. But here, through the final corner, we see the Turkish driver Mikail Hizal taking the spoils for Subaru in the top 16 Superstars race. It's Subaru and Hizal on top in the Manufacturers Series. Beauvoir comes home in second, and Skabinia, I think, is just going to hold on against Valerio Gallo to the line in third place. Brilliant racing there between those guys.